Welcome. My name is Peter Weber. I teach computer science and e-business at South Westphalia University of Applied Sciences in Soest, Germany, and I'm also the site manager of the Competence Center E-Commerce, a research institution that aims at studying technology-driven change. And this is how a couple years back we also got in touch with the topic of e-learning and started developing our own e-learning solutions. And also, we thought about approaches for the systematic development and improvement of these e-learning solutions. So I'd like to talk about how we developed and improved our international online course Net Economy through canonical action research throughout the last years. Actually, the Net Economy setting is part of a continuous build and evaluate loop. We introduced the class in 2006. Started as a small setting with just 2 international institutions and only about 10 to 15 students, and since then has developed into really a large setting with 6, sometimes 7 or even 8 international institutions participating and about 150 to 180 students. In the following 20 minutes, I'll start introducing our approach of educational service engineering for the systematic development and improvement of e-learning courses. And I'll then introduce the overall learning scenario of this Net Economy class. Before, in the last part, I'll dig a bit deeper and introduce you to changes that we implemented during the last 2 years, which are addressing actually the team building approach of this Net Economy course and the technical infrastructure that we provide for the students' collaboration. Let's start with the idea of educational service engineering. Today, universities or institutions of higher education face a lot of ongoing changes, like technological developments that lead to different media behavior and usage of students who thus require or request education to be delivered in different formats. And this together with global competition caused by, for example, also new e-learning formats like massive open online courses, also political efforts like the European Bologna process. Within this rapidly changing environment, it's very tricky for universities to develop e-learning strategies or to develop, for the instructors, for example, also to develop customized e-learning services at an appropriate cost. Against this background, educational service engineering aims at reusing approaches and concepts that have proven to be successful in other disciplines and other industries. For example, we try to learn from service management, strategic management, software engineering, also process modeling. One of the very important and successful approaches that we are using within educational service engineering is the concept of service platforms. This concept has been derived from industrial product platforms inspired, for example, by the success within the automotive industry. A service platform is a set of optional components and interfaces that together form a reusable structure. And we've worked on these service platforms on various levels. So on the one hand, we develop approaches for creating e-lectures and also providing e-lectures or web-based trainings. We then combine these components to phases of learning scenarios, like, for example, a preparation phase or knowledge development phase, which I will introduce later also for the Net Economy class. And together these phases can be merged to build and provide reusable structures called learning scenarios, like the overall Net Economy learning scenario that we use to derive individual educational services like the Net Economy class 2014, for example. Let's take a closer look at the Net Economy learning scenario. For the upcoming course cycle, we expect about 180 students from 6 universities, actually various countries, including Germany, Indonesia, Ukraine. We also had participants from China and Turkey that we will organize in 30 virtual teams. Not more than 6 students each and not more than 2 students from each location. These groups are provided a technical infrastructure based on Web 2.0 tools, social networking services, blogs, wikis, Google Sites, for example, that they can use to collaborate in this virtual environment. The class is split up into 3 phases. We have a preparation phase in which students are provided all the information they need about the setting, the tasks, also the infrastructure that they are using. And also this is the part where we initiate the team building process. During knowledge development phase, we provide the students various e-lectures and also other types of study material. In the upcoming course, this study material will deal with entrepreneurship on the one hand and e-commerce on the other hand. And finally, during case study phase, the students are asked and the teams are asked to develop their own business models referring to these 2 topics of e-commerce and entrepreneurship. So actually, the overall task in this 3rd phase will deal with the development of an e-commerce business. If you look at the blended learning structure of this class, it is built around 3 virtual classroom meetings, actually face-to-face events at each location that are merged through a video conferencing system. Currently, we are using Adobe Connect. And between these classroom meetings, there's online group working phases. There is some additional online events where we, for example, provide these e-lectures or tasks, but overall it's a class that mostly takes part in the online environment. When working on our e-learning settings and offers, we always try to keep in mind the idea of the collaborative constructivist community of inquiry framework developed by Garrison and his colleagues. The community of inquiry framework suggests that it is necessary to provide a social presence, a teaching presence, and a cognitive presence to offer successful learning experiences. In the following, I'll focus on the social presence, which refers to the ability of the participants to identify with the group and to communicate in a purposeful manner within this environment provided, to develop relationships. This has been a large challenge within the net economy setting, and therefore we developed a specific team building approach. This team building approach is part of preparation phase, and we changed it during the last years. The beginning of the net economy courses, it was very important for us to mix students within the teams, students from various universities, countries, and also with different skills. But it turned out that this procedure of setting up the teams was very problematic, since within the teams there was usually some very active members and on the other hand some very passive members who showed some free rider mentality and just waited for the active members to take care of the tasks. We therefore changed the procedure into an approach where we organized the teams around certain roles, including a team manager, content managers, also a person responsible for the presentations of the team, and also a person responsible for providing internal reviews. The beginning of the class, we then ask all students and participants of this class to create their own profiles on a social networking service that we created for this course, a social network called NEN, the Net Economy Network. And within their profiles, the students are asked to characterize themselves, also, of course, introduce their personality, but also their willingness to contribute to one of these roles. We then, as the instructors, picked the team managers, and it was the task, the first important task of these team managers, to build their teams within the first week of preparation phase. So this first week, of course, turned out to be a very intensive phase of communication between the students so that they really get to know each other and later on identify themselves with their groups. We combined this team-building approach with a new collaboration infrastructure built around a social network that we created using BuddyPress. Actually, this social networking service or network became the central coordination platform for the class. The students could now use common features like connecting with the other students, exchanging messages, pictures, but also the social network was the platform where we provide our content like e-lectures, tasks, we share a calendar and features like that. On the other hand, the teams are provided collaboration infrastructure built around certain Web 2.0 tools, especially they need to use Google Docs and Google Sites to provide their results and develop their results. But we also use a tool called Make a Point for video discussion, where actually students had to record short video messages and discuss certain aspects of their business models or the e-lectures using this discussion tool. And finally, we use video conferencing software like Adobe Connect or Google Hangouts to merge the face-to-face meetings that we offer at the various locations at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the net economy setting. So it's actually a complex set of tools that the students are being introduced to within the net economy class, and it is important for us to see how they're actually developing their skills regarding the use, the problems, the challenges, but also the strength and the potential that these tools offer. In order to address the learning success of our students, we provide them with competency-based questionnaires before and after the course. This way we are able to analyze the self-perceived change in their skill set regarding presentation techniques, group work, but also media usage. In addition to this evaluation, we initiate regular instructor meetings during the semester on a weekly basis, online meetings, but also there is yearly face-to-face meetings. And here we also start to do some research on this course. For example, in one of our recent papers, we focus on the success and the value of the social networking service that we implemented. If you're interested in whether our social network turned into a tool that was used also for pure social purposes besides class purposes, as intended by us regarding the social presence, please take a look at our paper Social Networking in e-learning. For the future, for the upcoming course cycle, starting in October, we actually aim at analyzing the options for adaptive e-learning. So how can we provide students study material according to their individual needs, considering educational backgrounds, but also cultural backgrounds. Also, we'd like to learn more about the quality of the interactions between our students, considering again their locations, study programs, and culture. I hope I was able to introduce our idea of educational service engineering and also to raise your interest in this international setting, net economy. If you're actually interested in participating in one of our future course cycles, please feel free to contact me. And if you're interested in more details regarding, for example, the team building approach, the technical infrastructure, also the improvement process following canonical action research, please refer to our paper, Improving Virtual Collaborative Learning Through Canonical Action Research. Thank you again, and bye-bye.